1. We. As the ship was sinking, third-class passengers were reportedly locked below deck to prevent them from reaching the lifeboats. This meant that many were trapped and unable to escape. 2. Despite there being enough lifeboats to save everyone on board, many were launched with empty seats. This was due to a combination of factors, including a lack of training, poor communication, and class divisions. 3. First-class passengers were given priority access to the lifeboats, while third-class passengers were often left behind. This meant that many of the wealthiest and most influential people on board were saved, while poorer passengers were left to fend for themselves. 4. The Titanic's crew received several distress signals from other ships in the area, but they were ordered to ignore them. This meant that potential rescuers were not alerted to the ship's plight until it was too late. 5. The Titanic was traveling at full speed in a known ice field in an attempt to break a record for the fastest transatlantic crossing. This excessive speed meant that the ship had less time to react to the presence of the iceberg. 6. The two lookouts in the crow's nest did not have access to binoculars, which made it harder for them to spot the iceberg in time. 7. While the Titanic's watertight compartments were designed to keep water out in the event of a breach, they were not fully watertight. This meant that water could still spread between compartments, making the ship more vulnerable to sinking. 8. The Titanic's crew had not conducted a full-scale emergency drill before the ship set sail, and many were not adequately trained for emergency situations. 9. Carlyle had warned of the danger of icebergs in the North Atlantic, but his warnings were ignored by the White Star Line and the ship's captain, Edward Smith. 10. In the aftermath of the disaster, there were reports of a cover-up by the White Star Line and the British Board of Trade. This included suppressing evidence and intimidating survivors into silence.